Hello guys, and welcome to episode 4 of the Overcast. It's Reynad here. Today I'm joined by Savjz and Dog. We're very lucky to have with us. And yeah, welcome guys. How are you doing today? Let's see. So today we're going to talk about, just some general news that's been going on in the Hearthstone scene. Nyum Nyum team got announced with like Kungin, RDU, Life Coach, Ties, streamer stats, Chinese tournaments not paying, new Pinnacle tournament, all sorts of stuff to talk about. So, yeah, just right off the bat, what have you guys been up to? Let's start with Dog. What have you been doing?
Not much. I was just, practicing Hearthstone the last couple of weeks, but there really haven't been many tournaments, so I guess just laddering and streaming when I can. Other than that, just getting ready to go back to school. So
yeah, definitely. It seems like everyone's playing a lot more ladder than during those past few months where it was really busy with tournaments and stuff. And you've been doing really well on ladder. I mean, I've seen you on rank 1 with like Rogue and stuff, but you recently got it again, right, with Ramp?
Yeah, I got it with Ramp Jude a couple days ago, and I don't know. There's just like so much aggro on ladder all the time. You can just punish everyone with like control-y type decks. Slower, I don't know, stuff that beats aggro.
Definitely. Savjz, what have you been up to? How have your past few weeks been going? What have you been doing?
I've been streaming a lot. Like I've been talking about it for such a long time, many months, and almost like a year that I'm gonna start streaming more, and now it's finally happening. So I've streamed like 60 hours this month, and gonna stream another 60, and like streaming is my job right now, and really happy about it.
Awesome, man. Glad to see you make the transition. So yeah, it's been a decent amount of news lately in terms of teams, mostly roster changes and all that stuff. Let's start off by talking about Team Nyum, I think that's how you pronounce it. Kungin announced a new team. Everyone was kind of wondering where Ties and RDU were going to go after their contract was up, so let me go ahead and pull this up for us. And yeah, they were announced a new team, Nyum Nyum, which was a World of Warcraft guild, I guess, one of the more famous ones. What do you guys think about this? I'm sure you've seen the news and all of that. What do you think of the roster? How do you think, there we go, production value at its finest. Boom. Alright.
Doc, you gonna go first?
Yeah, sure. Well, the roster itself is like pretty strong. RDU, Ties, Life Coach, Lothar. RDU and Ties are just like, people you see in tournaments all the time, like constantly at least winning or getting, top like 2 or 3. So they're very, very strong players. Their streaming presence might be a little low. I mean, I'm not like, trying to like bash them or anything, but they are very good players. So I think that team is going to be something to look out for, especially like during DreamHack, Seat Story, things like that. So
definitely. Savjz, what do you think about the roster?
I think it's really amazing. I'm happy for them. I know that they're gonna have a good 2015 with that. They were kind of like RDU and Ties, both awesome players, like Doc said, and I completely agree. They were kind of like a package deal, and actually, in the end, we also approached them, and the offer we made was pretty much the same as the Nihilum one, but in the end, they wanted to go do their own thing and to kind of like start fresh, I guess. I mean, they didn't have anything negative about Team Liquid, but they just wanted to do their own thing, and I'm really excited to also see Life Coach in there. I didn't know that he would be in the team, and Life Coach is one of the most interesting people, in my opinion, that I've met in like live events, and I'm really excited that he's also part of the team.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. I think he's one of the strongest rosters in the game for sure. Ties especially has been having just an insane past few months. I mean, he made 2 DreamHack finals, which are pretty much the biggest LAN tournaments we have. So that's unheard of. Life Coach as well. It's interesting. Like, I wasn't sure if Life Coach was more playing Hearthstone for fun because he's pretty well off from poker and all of that. But it seems like he's been getting more serious in it. We're starting to see him in bigger events. DreamHack Stockholm, he made it pretty far in DreamHack Winter as well. So awesome. I like to see Lothar taking a managerial role too. Lothar is just one of my favorite people in the Hearthstone scene by far. So I'm excited to see where those guys go with it all. So let's go back to this. But yeah, RDU, of course, also just a ton of accomplishments. We'll see. I'm sure we'll start seeing him in more tournaments after, he's out of school, stuff like that. He'll have more time to focus on Hearthstone. Let's see. So we also had the streamer stats for December recently announced. No, not a huge deal, but figured can't hurt to talk about it a bit. We got the hardest working streamers. KHS Johnny, I don't know who this guy is, but he's streaming 310 hours a month.
Wow. How is that even possible? Like, the stream is going to be on even when he sleeps. So.
Yeah, it's 24 hours.
I have no idea. Maybe there's multiple people streaming on the channel.
Yeah, the names I recognize here are like Guardsman Bob, Show, and Crip. And Show is just, that's insane, 240.
Wow.
That's like a lot to stream,
That's
especially with
a
that
lot.
many viewers. Like, I don't know.
It's insane
a lot of
hours. Yeah. Very surprising. I thought like 120 hours was a lot, but yeah, super impressive. I got viewer count stuff. I mean, this is the stuff you see on the front page every day. Largest peak. Moss had the tournament. Nothing too interesting here. But yeah, it was just the hours thing really blew me away. It's like a bunch of streamers you haven't heard of that much, but holy crap, 240 from Show.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, I also know that he streams a lot, but I mean, that's still like, wow.
Yeah, Crip really putting the hours in. But yeah. So as for ladder, sorry. Let's actually go to this. Let's go to the Chinese thing, right? So this is something that we were at WCA, right? It was WCA. That's the one we were all at, or was it WEC? Yeah. Okay, so they put us up like a really nice 5-star hotel. It was run by like the government of the city of Yinchuan, and they were promising us that it was going to be completely legitimate. We were going to get our money within the month, they said over and over again. And the event comes and goes. We were all skeptical at the time, and we figured it's a government affair. There's no way they can take the bad PR from the West. It wouldn't be worth it them to. Anyway, point is, now we're like 5 months past the event. No one's been paid. Garza.
I have.
Oh, you have?
I have been paid.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You're one of the
Dark
2 players. Is it because you guys, did you do anything different? Did you just submit them your stuff fast? Or, I mean, I thought we did too, but.
We submitted at the same time, but like the only logic that I can find there is that we both live in Nordic countries. So I think it's something to do with the banks. And my personal opinion about the WCA is that I really think that they are trying their hardest to pay people, but it's just the Chinese banks are failing it. And I think me and Dark Onyx got paid because there's something about the Nordic banks which was like made it possible or made it easier or so. But also, like, the rumor is that they are going to host it next year too. I'm not sure if this is true. Yeah. But if they're hosting it next year, that means that they will have to pay every single penny from this year's event.
Yeah, definitely.
Or last year's event, if they're like, yeah.
Dog, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's weird that it's like 5 months and they haven't paid. Sounds really sketchy to me, but at the same time, I mean, they paid Savjz, so they obviously have the intention of paying people. Otherwise, they'd probably just like blow everyone off. So maybe it is something to do with the banks. I don't know, I'm not like too into knowing about this kind of stuff, so I don't really know what to think about it. I think it's kind of strange though. Like 5 months is a very long time to not get paid. Yeah,
definitely. I don't know much about it. Well, hopefully everyone does see their money. I agree with Savjz. I think they are trying to make an effort, so that's good. Aside from that, we've got the Pinnacle #2 tournament announced, which is going to be cool. I didn't watch too much of the last one. I was out of the house. But what did you guys think of the first Pinnacle? Start with you, Dog. Did you watch it? What did you think about it?
I watched some of it, and then it got DDoSed, and then I was just like, I don't want to watch this anymore, because, like, I don't know, it was, like, so scattered throughout the day. But I did compete in the qualifier thingy, and there were, like, a ton of good people in the qualifier. Like, you could make a tournament out of that, and people would, like, watch it just as much as the actual Pinnacle. So maybe, hopefully, they'll stream that. I probably should have just, like, streamed it myself, but...
So yeah, I heard you got put into a bit of an awkward spot with the DDoS situation.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, but can you tell us what happened, sort of?
Yeah, I can. So multiple people got DDoS during that tournament, but I was like the only one protected from it because I had my Skype on a separate connection, and my Skype actually went down, and that was around the same time as the first disconnect happened to Firebat. So I was figuring it out. Maybe this is like maybe there's something going on. So my Skype has never crashed. That internet connection that I had on my tablet Skype has never went down before. So I was like, there might be something going on here, but we weren't sure what's going on. But then, like after the third time it happened to Firebat, and when it happened to D2, it was kind of obvious that there was some DDoSing going on, and so that kind of ruined the Sunday for the tournament. But yeah, we ended up doing the replaying with the Firebat, and I lost 2-3. So we kind of rewinded the tournament to the spot where the DDoS didn't occur yet.
Okay. Well, hopefully those issues do stop. I mean, I've definitely had trouble with that myself. There were like 2 weeks around the holidays that I just couldn't stream at all. So the only time I was on Twitch was from like Hafu's place. But I've never had that problem that bad lately. I don't know what happened. It happened to Forsen. It happened to Trump. Like everyone was getting DDoS. It was just like 2 weeks I couldn't turn the stream on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that for future tournaments are gonna protect against that. Because even after that, there has been some events where it could have been possible that something similar could have happened. So tournament organizers better watch out and hope, try to work around it, and players as well. I don't know, like who are you? Whose fault is it? But I think players kind of should protect themselves, but also tournaments, if there's something they can do from the organizer point of view, they should do it. Because DDoS is like I fear that it's only going to get more and more common in the future.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about it, Doug?
Well, I don't know, because like it could be on the tournament organizer's end, because like to get all of your IP addresses and like DDoS, like each of you, I mean, there's something wrong there clearly, but at the same time, I don't know, it's the player's responsibility. If like, you know, like Reynad, you got DDoS at one time, like that sucks, but like, I don't know.
It is the players. I agree.
Exactly.
I agree with you. It's the players' responsibility to protect themselves.
But at the same time, like, I don't know, you could just like turn off Skype, go to like Starbucks, play there.
Yeah.
For the tournament, like that could work.
Yeah, definitely. As long as you don't get a webcam.
It's really good that there's now the spectator mode. It's because that actually allows, like, even when it happens, you might still be able to like finish the tournament, even if some things go wrong. Just do it without the camera and play from a separate connection.
Definitely. Yeah, it seems like basically I think they're getting it from Skype. It's not. I don't think the tournament organizers are responsible. I don't think there's much they can do. But each individual person who's competing in these tournaments, you have to like run your Skype through a proxy or something and change your IP. I mean, that seems like the cleanest way to do it. But yeah, definitely sucks that it's been happening so much. Anyway, Pinnacle 2, the invited players are Forsen, Strifecrow,
Can I say one more thing about that?
Yeah, go for it.
Just because there are other ways to just for the tournament organizers, like for the cameras, there are other ways than just use the Skype for the camera. Like the way that Pinnacle actually did it was like a separate this meeting site thing which had the camera thing, so the players could potentially even play without Skype, and that could be smart, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think like Google Hangouts or something. It kind of sucks, right? Because so much of esports is based around Skype. Like we all have to use it. Can't just like, I can't just like change my Skype because I lose too many important contacts, and even if I import them, I lose the conversation history. Yeah. Well, anyway, Pinnacle 2. Hopefully they'll get those issues sorted out. It's going to be Forsen, Strifecrow, Trump, Magic Amy, Hosty, and Life Coach. What do you guys think about this roster? Start with you, Doug.
I like how they invited completely different people, and there's still like an open spot for like the people who got invited last time to compete. Mm-hmm. So like I think that's really cool. A bunch of big names: Forsen, Strifecrow, Trump, Magic Amy will be there, so that's pretty cool seeing her up here. Hosty and Life Coach. I think it's a really strong lineup. Like whenever you have a tournament and there's like 30 top tier players, and like what separates them is very little. Having like 6 of those is like really good. Like getting like different people each time. So like I've never seen a lineup like this. Like Forsen and Magic Amy against each other. Even Trump and Forsen like doesn't happen very often. So like having a little bit of diversity with like the tournament scene is good. And I like that he like invited different people, not the same. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so. Definitely. What do you think, Savjz?
I think that's an amazing lineup, and I if I was handing out the invites, there's like no way to do it any better. I feel like the Life Coach and Amy, who are like a bit smaller than the others and Hosty, but are a bit smaller, but now it's like exactly the perfect time to invite them, and they're really exciting players to see play. And he also, like Amas, chose to keep the same approach to the invites like he did on the first tournament round, which was to invite players from different teams. Like there's not two players from the same team, so that's also kind of cool, I think, because it would be boring if it was like, in my opinion, it would be boring if it was like, let's say, 3 Cloud9 players and 3 Tempestorm players and 2 Team Liquid players or so. So that's an interesting approach, and it's going to be an exciting event.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. Well, all right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back, guys. See you in a couple minutes, and I'll talk about more stuff in general, maybe do some viewer questions, that kind of stuff. See you in a bit. All right. So, we've got a couple more announcements recently in the Hearthstone world. First of all, I kind of wanted to cover the Green Sheep LAN Assembly. I don't know if you guys have heard about this one at all. But, yeah, Nimshaki Green Sheep headline, the first LAN in 2015. It looks like this is the Finnish tournament, right? Savjz, you're going to be at this one? Sorry about that. I was muted on Skype. Let me go ahead and awkwardly repeat all the things I just asked. Ignore that, Twitch chat. So yeah, with 2015, we haven't seen a LAN in a while, right? We had all those events we were traveling to right before January, but the first LAN tournament of the new year, it looks like it's going to be this, what is this Finnish tournament called? Yeah, the Assembly. Yeah.
Assembly, yeah.
So, Savjz, you're going to be at this one, right? It's a Finnish tournament.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Gar is going to be at this one as well, most likely. I'm not sure if we can say that yet. Oh, yeah, he should be. But, I don't know. What do you think about this tournament, Savjz? Can you tell us a bit about it? I haven't read too much into it aside from some of the players going and stuff like that.
Yes, sure. Assembly is like they organize these LAN events, like kind of similar to what you think of when you think about DreamHack. Assembly is just a bit smaller because DreamHack is massive, but those are like the two big LAN thingies that go on. They have 2 events every year, and the prize pool is 3.5, and so we won't see like all the top players of Europe there, but the event is awesome and their production quality on the stream should be good. I think it's going to be Ecop and Ignite casting, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and I live like a half an hour away from the venue, and I'll be there.
Oh, that's convenient.
Nice.
Dog, what do you think about this? Have you seen this tournament before?
I have not. This is like the first time, but it looks pretty good. I mean, Savjz will be there. Gara apparently. It seems like a pretty good tournament. The prize pool's not big enough to warrant people traveling too far, but still it attracts like good players in the region, and I like that. And tournaments like this generally do have good production value. Like Seat Story was like best production value. I hope this like is on par with it. So
yeah,
it'll be fun. It's always good to watch.
Do you know off the top of your head what your next LAN that you're going to be at is?
Me? No, I have no idea at all.
I've been asking around the Hearthstone community. No one really knows for sure. It's like before we had every weekend we had like some big event to look forward to, or at least next month there'd be a big event to look forward to. But it seems like for now there's nothing that big coming up for a while. So kind of interesting in that regard. But let's get on to the next announcement. Let me scroll this over a little bit. Looks like Archon signed Nadia and 6-0. So good for them. 6-0 coming out of Root, just like most Hearthstone players in the scene.
Yeah.
I was actually signed to Root myself, but before the announcements was ever made, I changed my mind.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so the roster now is Firebat, Hosty, 6-0, Nadia, and Backspace. Nadia is not going to be in the gaming house, but I think 6-0 is. So what do you guys think about this roster change? Dog, start with you.
6-0 is a very, very, very good pickup. He is one of the best players for sure. I mean, he is like #1 on all 3 servers. He competes really well in tournaments. Like he's really high Ghosted Gamer ranked or whatever. He qualifies for like everything, and I doubt he'll need to anymore. But I mean, like through open qualifiers, I doubt he'll need to anymore. But yeah, I know like 6-0 is a very good player, and their roster is really scary to go up against at least. I don't know too much about Nadia, but I do know she is a very popular female streamer, so that should help with advertising and all that jazz.
Savjz, what do you think about this?
Yeah, Xixo is definitely one of the very best players, and having a huge team like Archon to back him up should be good. I mean, he's gonna still be at every event, even if it's through qualifiers or through invites. But I guess he gonna save some time now, not having to go through the trouble. And also, it gives other people some chances to qualify through the qualifiers. Yeah, so good for Xixo. So I think he's gonna be racking up more invites now.
Definitely. Yeah, I like that he has like a place to play, a place to practice now in the gaming house. It's in Texas, right? The Arkham house. I think it is. Anyway, everything kind of froze up for a second. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully that'll... Oh, man. They're just keeping really good poker faces. That's what's going on. Alright, anyway. Let's get on to the next subject. It's going to be the ESL Legendary Series. Is this tournament with the insane lineup that happened on a Saturday. I had the pleasure of casting this one. And let me move it over one more time. There we go. But yeah, this was Savjz, you were in this tournament. We saw you play Fatigue Mage. What did you think about just the players involved in this one? What was your experience like? How do you feel about it? Were you happy with the decks you picked and all that?
Yeah, I'm actually really happy with the lineup. I just kind of I was really sad. Like that, I've never been this sad after a tournament that I was now, because I feel like I had the thing like nailed down, and just playing against LA, the Fatigue Mage was absolutely perfect. But then I just dropped it both in game 1 and game 5. I just through play errors I managed to lose. So I had nothing to blame but myself. On that one, my first game was really easy. Maybe unfortunate draws by my opponent, or maybe he played bad. I'm not sure which. But since I managed to win the first match, I'll be back next week, and maybe there's redemption.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully it'll go well. You're lucky, man. You're in one of the later weeks. All you had to do was win one round. I was in the earlier week, and I won the first round, but I don't get invited back because the rules change halfway through. Some bullshit is what it is. It's fine though. Next season will be consistent the whole way through. Dog, did you watch this tournament? What did you think about it?
Yeah, I did. It was interesting. I'm surprised Zale won, not because he's like not a good player, but those decks I would never bring to a tournament, like ever. Like the Hunter, I don't really like bringing Hunter to tournaments. It's just like kind of iffy. The Warlock, like I think those decks like work like one game and then they kind of just like fall flat on their face. Apparently it worked like really well though, so that's good for him. And Priest, I don't really like in tournaments either. So I'm actually really surprised he won the entire thing with that lineup. That's very impressive to me at least. And I don't know, there are a lot of interesting decks. I really like these weekly things because like I don't know, something to watch, something to see how like the meta shifts and like if people want to like shake it up and bring new decks. So it's really cool. I mean, I competed in this like what 3 weeks ago. I got second. It is some bullshit that they like changed the rules or whatever because I got second. I mean, I got invited back, but I had another tournament. But still, I don't know. Would have got more points or something. I don't know.
It's nice to see a company with good production quality putting something up like this. I was actually really impressed by this Warlock deck. I was playing this thing I called Oddlock, which was like kind of like it was a combo finish Warlock deck, but it was all removal. I was streaming it with like Shadow Bolts and stuff, and this deck just looks like a way better version of it. Like you play Twilight Drake, you play like I think I had Sludge Belchers too, but he's playing like more minion based, 2 Owl, Zombie Chow. He's not relying on cards like Soulfire and Shadow Bolt. It actually looked like a pretty good list. I went and I played it on ladder, and oh man, that did not go as well. But so maybe it's just it looks better than it is, but. Yeah, definitely cool choices. Black Knight in all 3 lists. Good week to bring Priest, I guess. Lots of good matchups for it there. I was most impressed by Pin Ho for his play. I think he made the fewest mistakes of any player in the tournament. I didn't see like any, honestly. It's cool to see Shaman being brought, which is, I think, probably just the worst class right now.
That was a really unlucky guy. I'm sorry. That guy, he got really unlucky like every single time. I felt so bad for him.
He was still getting so far too. Yeah, like every RNG flip was just like he lost, like the worst knife jugglers I've seen in my life. But it's just saying a lot. But yeah, great player. Hopefully we'll see more of him. I like seeing players from the East represented more because we mostly just see European and North American players. But it's nice to get a name out there besides Tiddler, Celestial. And Ping went through like the open bracket and like twice, I think. But yeah. But he's going through to the LAN. He got through on points, so great for him. He's got 85 points. Definitely going to see him in Burbank. Looking forward to meeting him.
It's really impressive. And from what I saw him play too, I was really impressed by the Shaman deck building and also his plays, like the decisions. Like still, I haven't played that much Shaman lately, and when I saw him play it, I was thinking that I would do something different, but then he just like the play that he made with the Shaman just made a lot more sense, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I felt that way casting it too. I would have done a lot of things differently, and then after you think about the play he would have made, you're like, oh, okay, that's a little better. So yeah, let's talk about this Fatigue Mage deck because this deck that Savjz, has a crush on right now, thinks it's really really good. I tried cutting like the 10 shitty cards, and I have a very cool Mage control deck that started off as this.
Wow!
But I think this sort of strategy has a lot of potential. I think it's really good. Tell us about this deck, Savjz. How do you feel about free? Why do you like it so much? How does it work? All that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So, the thing started out mostly as a joke. I just rolled on my channel like what to play next, and one of the options was the Mage that was just on Reddit, and people wanted to see that, and I got a huge crush. I was just I wasn't winning that much on the first day, but I was just having so much fun playing it, and people also loved to watch it. So. I started playing it more and more, and then I was figuring out the matchups better and better. And it felt so good because there's so few bad matchups in the end. Like double combo druid is almost impossible, and rogue is the double combo druid is hard because they even with 2 minions on the board they start threatening lethal, and rogue is also really tough because they have just so much damage output, and it's tough. But then there are the extremely good matchups which are like paladin, priest, and if you don't mess it up, you always win those. So I felt like it was a really good pick for the ESL format where I'm not stuck with just winning one game with it and then getting it knocked out. And I felt like the chances are over 50 that I get a favorable matchup in the blind pick. And then like if my opponent's lineup somehow is all bad against the Mage, I have the option to bring it into the blind pick, the game 4 and 5. So I felt like it was a really good pick here, and I didn't bring it just to have fun at the tournament.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like a really strong deck. I mean, you were playing at like 5 or 6 a.m. your time, so you know, like a couple. Like I think you on your Twitter you said you weren't happy.
Bad. It was bad. It was bad.
It looks pretty rough when I was casting it. Even if you did the other play, it looked bad. But
it was like there were like the two things that I was really caught up on. But it's possible that I did even more. But in the very first game, I actually miscounted my cards when I went for Echo of Medivh, and I didn't get one Cold Light Oracle. And I thought my hand would be full and I didn't want to discard the next one. Then I was like, oh shit, I actually could have afforded to get the Gold Light. So basically I was just, did not get Gold Light Oracle for no reason. And then like we would go to Fatigue when I'm stuck top decking, and he's actually would take Fatigue damage already, and I still have cards in mind. All I can think about is like, why don't I have a Cold Light? And that kind of also like set me off like mentally. I was really tilted about it, and even like in the second game, I was still thinking about that Gold Light Oracle, how there was no way to lose the game 1 if I had it in my hand. So that was pretty bad, and yeah, that game 5 I also kind of rope, because I thought I was dead, and then I got an ice block, and rope was almost burned out, and I just dropped a Doomsayer for like absolutely no reason, and as soon as it's done, I'm like, oh my God, I hope nobody watches this, and then I like after the game is done, I check out the stream, it's like 35,000.
yeah.
Okay. Well, there's only I'm still really happy that I brought the Mage. It was the right call. I just I kind of dropped the ball there, but it can happen, and next time it's gonna be better.
Mm-hmm. Dog, have you played much with any of these fatigue decks? Not just Mage, but maybe Druid. What do you think about them?
I tried to make a Druid one, didn't work at all. The Rogue one worked pretty well on ladder, but at the same time, there's not like enough defense. The Mage, like I've watched Savjz play it like for a couple hours because it's really fun to watch. I didn't actually play it because I don't like losing a lot. I don't know. Like learning a deck like that, you have to lose a lot, obviously. Yeah. But you also learn the deck, how to play against it. And I think like the major thing is a lot of people don't know how to like play against this deck. And it seems like it has no win condition, but you definitely win like through fatigue and like God, just Death Lords on Death Lords. It's so fun to play and watch. I don't know. I'm not adept at fatigue decks, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's a cool strategy for sure. All right, well, I think we are more or less out of topics to cover. Let's throw it to the viewers, I guess. Shout out some questions in Twitch chat. Anything you want to ask Dog or Savjz. We'll start answering them right after the break, which will just be a couple minutes. So I'm going to throw up the screen, throw some questions in chat. We'll get right back and answer them for you guys. Thanks for watching. right, guys, welcome back from the break. We got a list of questions here that I just kind of pulled from the chat. Keep asking them. We can definitely fit some more in. But first one is, what are the decks Savjz, Dog, and yourself are using to climb ladder right now? What's the best answer to Hunter in the format? Dog, start with you with this one. What do you think?
Okay, so what decks am I using to climb ladder? I use Druid because it has like a good matchup. Because like Druid's like pretty good against everything, right? So you want like a deck on ladder that's good against everything. Also, ladder is a little bit more like aggro oriented, so you need something that can consistently beat aggro. I think Druid does like the best job of that while still beating control. Because like against aggro matchups, you just play the control role, and against control matchups, you just play the aggressive role. Use like Force Roar to finish them off. So that's what I'm using. A very defensive one with Taz Dingos, Zombie Chows, Wars, things like that. Double BGH just for the control matchup.
And you like the one copy of combo?
Yeah, because like the thing is in the control matchups you just cycle your Ras. I added Drakeson so I have a more consistent time like drawing into the combo. Even with Savage Roar, like you have a ton of reach if you have board. So yeah, one copy works. Two is like a little too bulky. Because like I remember watching DreamHack like a year ago, or not a year ago, but close to a year ago, and everyone ran double copy Druid, or double combo Druid. And I just remember watching one matchup where both the Druids had like double combo, and they just sat there for like 4 turns, just passing. It was, I don't know, you can't do that on ladder, and you certainly can't do that in a tournament. But now Druids have a better way of getting stuff out in tournaments. But anyways, back to the point. What was the last part of the question? It was,
what beats Hunter? Yeah.
Oh, Druid. With Zombie Chows, Taz Dingos, taunts, things like that.
Yeah, so Savjz, what about you? What are you using to climb ladder? What's your favorite list against Hunter?
Well, I've been mostly playing the Mage, so I hit Legend with the Mage and with the Fatigue Mage, and it's been pretty good. It got slightly worse with the adjustments that I made, taking out the Earthen Ring Farseers, but it's still fine. What Doc said about the Zombie Chows, I think that's really like it's a good way to do ladder, and Zombie Chow is not that great of a card in tournament circumstances, but for the ladder it's like really excellent if you're playing a bit slower deck. And also like kind of regardless of the class, I think running one mind control deck can be really smart. I've been actually experimenting a bit with that, and it's just so swingy card. And even in control matchups, there's Dr. Boom in almost every single deck, so you can find the time to play it. And against aggro, it's obviously amazing. So that's pretty nice. And also Antique Healbot is like a kind of nice card for the ladder.
Definitely, yeah. I'm playing 2 mind control tech myself in a lot of lists when I'm not streaming. And when you are streaming, you can't play those.
yeah, it works so much better when you're not streaming. Holy shit! Like,
yeah, like never one copy because of Boom. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next question. What are the opinions on the ladder climb now that GVG is in full force, and how does it compare to pre-GVG? Let's start with Savjz on this one. How do you feel about this?
Ladder climb?
Yeah. Now, compared to before GVG, how do you feel about it?
It's a lot more like it's a lot more refreshing. I think a lot of decks can work now, and there's a lot more variety. Like before GVG, we were really stuck with Hunter and countering Hunter and Zoo. Like those decks are still around, but they're not so popular anymore, and there are more tools to deal with it. So you can actually tweak your deck like to beat. If you're really annoyed, let's say you're really annoyed about Hunter, then you add the Zombie Chows. So there are tools. There are more tools to counter the thing that you're struggling the most with. It will weaken the deck for other matchups, sure, but like I think ladder is just more fun, and I'm okay with there being nothing at stake for the top places right now. So ladder is not too serious, and you can just play whatever you want and have fun.
And Dog, how do you feel about it compared to before GVG?
There's a lot more diversity, which is really good. But at the same time, it's harder to like rank up because there's so much diversity. So you'll play like a bunch of Hunters in a row, and then suddenly you're just like, all right, fuck these, like whoops, bad word. Anyways, you're like, these big game Hunters aren't doing anything for me. So you just like take them out and you add in like Zombie Chows, and you play a hand lock, and then you're just like, God, this is like the worst day ever. So
It's true. Like it was
yeah.
kind of easier to hit like high rank, in my
It
opinion,
was.
before when everyone was playing Hunter. You just figure out like the best possible Hunter counter, which is like. But now it's like it's such a crapshoot, like trying to figure out.
It's really hard to. You have to build like a very like. My deck can beat almost everything 50% of the time, and then try to outplay them, which I like more. But at the same time, like it is like this season was a lot harder for me to hit Legend personally. But yeah, it's cooler. I guess it's more fun, and I like that there's not that much stress on ladder because like you don't have to hit top 16 or anything. Not that that's that stressful, but
yeah. We'll see what they end up doing for the next BlizzCon. But all right, next question is: which GVG card do you think is a dark horse to be played in Constructed? My vote, Unstable Portal, best card in GVG. It's gonna start seeing a lot more play. There just needs to be like a list for it. The problem is Mage is so weak, and like all the versions of it are these gimmicky decks that don't have room for it, basically, because you need all your cards need to like in Fatigue Mage, all your cards need to heal or draw cards or stall. You don't have room for something like that. And in the aggressive decks, in like a mech list, you need to play like your mech 2-drops and all that over it. But Dog, what do you think? What's a dark horse card to be played in Constructed?
That's difficult. I think you're gonna have to come back to me for a sec. I need to think a little bit because this is like difficult.
Do you have one?
I want to give a good answer.
Yeah, kinda. I don't know if it can be called Dark Horse anymore, but I think Echo of Medi is gonna be like it has so much potential, and I think eventually there's gonna be some kind of Mage deck which is gonna be stable. I don't know if it's gonna be the Fatigue or if it's gonna be more like Strife control thing. But Echo of Medi allows you to play with like 40 card deck kind of if you're playing for the long game. So I think that the impact of that card is gonna get even bigger, and at some point somebody's gonna come up with an awesome Echo of Medi list.
Yeah, actually, I took your Mage list from the tournament. At least I changed like 10 cards into more of like a control deck, and I was so impressed by that card. It's like way better than I thought it would be. It looked like
Same for me.
It looked like it would only be good in games you're winning, but yeah, if you're playing all defensive cards, it's insane. You got an answer yet, Dogs, or a dark horse card?
I think so. I'm gonna go ahead and say Sabotage, just because I was testing that card a lot, and like I was running like a Miracle-esque rogue, and you could run it like as a BGH slot almost with like preps and shivs and fans and stuff, and you can take out like Doom Guards, you could take out like just like really defensive things, Ancient of Wars, pretty much anything good, and it seems worse than Assassinate, but at the same time, I don't know I feel like you can clear minions really effectively as a rogue because you can backstab, you can use your dagger to ping off the little crappy units. So I like Sabotage. I think that card has a lot of potential, especially in rogue. You can make a control rogue with like double BGH, double Sabotage, double Assassinate. Suddenly, like you beat every control deck. I mean, of course you'll lose to aggro, but yeah, I don't know. It's a cool card, and I like it.
I agree about the Sabotage. I haven't played much rogue, and I haven't played with Sabotage. But I played multiple decks that I've just gotten like completely wrecked by the Sabotage, like well-timed Sabotage, destroying the weapon, killing a minion, or simply killing like a key minion. It's just like, fuck, and I know that from that point on the game is in a bad shape.
Definitely. All right, so what's everyone's opinions of Mech Mage right now? I think it's slightly weaker than Zoo, and I'm not a big fan of it on ladder because it struggles against Zoo. I play like double mind control tech in it to sort of help that matchup, but even that doesn't feel like quite enough. What do you guys think about Mech Mage? Let's start with Savjz.
I don't like it. I think it's like exactly the type of deck that I personally don't enjoy playing it, and that I don't enjoy playing with. And it has some good matchups, it has some bad ones, but overall, I don't think it's like it doesn't compare to Zoo and the other aggro decks. I think that there are better ways to play aggro than the Mech Mage.
Yep. Dog, how do you feel about it?
So worse Zoo. It does have better matchups. Like I feel like it's because like it's really inconsistent. You won't draw into like the Mech Warper every single time, and you need that for an explosive start. Otherwise, you're just like playing minions on curve. Whereas like if you're Zoo, you're gonna have like tons of 1-drops and tons of stuff that like gets you going. The better matchup would be like Hunter. I feel like Mech Mage is a lot better against Hunter, because like Blast Mage just like completely destroys it. And I also want to say something about like those Mech Mages that run Archmage Antonitis. I hate that. I've lost so many games to fucking. I mean, pardon. To like stealth Archmage, and then like they just wrecked me, and I hate it. I can't stand that. It's the most frustrating thing ever.
Yeah, it is.
Destroyer of Druid Ramp. And tonight is Conceal. Alright. One guy asks, do you see them nerfing Dr. Boom, and if so, how? Let's start with Dog on this one. You think they'll nerf him? I hope so.
No, I don't think so. Like, he's really, really strong. If anything, they need to nerf the boombots a little bit. The stats on him are probably fine because he dies to like 7 HP is a lot less than 8 HP. It doesn't seem like it, but like Swipe Wrath kills it. I mean, I guess it's just because I played Druid, but yeah. I don't think they'll nerf him. They didn't nerf a lot of other cards, and like he is really prevalent in a lot of decks, but now everyone's just running BGH, so you have to be running like a ton of other threats to be BGH'd. So it's good in Warrior, and Warrior's even falling off a little bit. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. They did let Lotheb be alone for like without. They didn't nerf him yet, and he was in every. He's like in like 90% of tournament decks or 95 or something. Savjz, how do you feel about Dr. Boom? Do you think they'll nerf him?
No, I don't think they will nerf it, but I do think that it's too strong, and it's because of the boom bots. The potential from the boom bots is just insane. So it can deal 4 damage to a minion and kill off something meaningful, or it can go to face and deal 1. Yeah, I think that's like alongside Implosion, it's like the disgusting RNG that came with the expansion. Like I was really positively surprised by the RNG on like the piloted cards and stuff. I've actually been having fun, and I think they are okay. I don't have a problem with those. But like Implosion and Dr. Boom's boom bots, like they're so swingy. I mean, Implosion for 2 and leave the minion alive, or Implosion for 4, get 4 imps and kill the minion. Like like I wasn't scared about the Implosion when I saw the card, but now that I've seen it in play, it's just like, yeah, that Implosion and boom bots. I rest my case.
Yeah.
Please nerf.
It's just ridiculously RNG. Yeah, I feel like even Implosion is less bad than Animal Companion. They keep letting that card be around. But yeah, I know how you feel. Let's see. Old Pro 87 asked, as a newcomer to the tournament scene, what tournament should I be looking to enter? You guys have any insight on this? Dog, I know you play a lot of opens and qualifiers and stuff.
I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
Yeah, as a newcomer to tournaments, which tournaments should he be playing?
The ESL one is the most common one that is every week. I would try to get in some of the big tournaments. Like I qualified for Seat Store, I qualified for DreamHack. So if you play those, like you'll get better just by playing people, and you'll see how the tournament format works. And yeah, eventually you'll be making it to the top of tournaments, and then you'll qualify for one eventually if you're good enough. And then from there you can. You know, people will know your name. You'll get to be on stream, and it'll be really cool, and you'll feel really excited because you get to play against like the great Reynad or something, or Savjz. I don't know. It's cool. That's what happened to me. I was just competing in tournaments all the time, and they're like kind of demoralizing once you lose, but once you win one, it feels so good because you're like, I beat 3,000 people. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Any insight, Savjz? Do you know which tournaments you'd recommend, or pretty much what Dog said?
Well, I think that when there's open qualifiers for anything that gets broadcasted, it's like really good. And a lot of people, I feel like, missed out on the Seed Story qualifiers and also the VIA game qualifiers. Like when I saw the numbers, yes, there were like some 100 competing, but like I don't think the community really like understood how big those things are.
Yeah.
So I think that those time, like when there's a live event that's running qualifiers, like I think those are the most important ones. But also the online thing is. And right now the ESL is the one you want to play. It gets broadcast, a lot of people watch that, and if you do well, you play a cool deck. That's how you get started in Hearthstone.
Yeah, I think it's really good advice. There's some smaller ones like Zotac too that runs every week, just good practice. But yeah, so let's see. What does Priest lack that keeps it from being a more popular tournament class? Let's start with Savjz on this one.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Why does Priest suck?
I think it's too reactive. Like, it's just the matchups are really clunky. There's some good ones, there's some bad ones, but you can't play a proactive Priest. So I think that's a problem. And when you play it reactive, it's like the matchups are really lopsided. It's like even if you win one game with it, you almost certainly get countered in the next game, and you're just screwed. So at best, you win one game. So that's like why I don't like Priest so much.
Yeah, Dog, you seem like you agree with the it's too reactive thing.
Yeah, for sure. I was like, because like I don't know, Showered Pain, Showered Death. It's just all these cards that in like Cabal and like Shrinkmaster Cabal, you could try to get that off, but everything is just like you waiting for them to play a certain card, and then it doesn't work, and you could build your deck like really control, and of course you're going to win every control matchup, but it doesn't really work that well. I feel like it's better in tournaments and ladder, but at the same time, it's not even good enough to run in tournaments. I think it's lacking consistency. You can't really run the Undertaker variation because if you don't draw Undertaker, like you're not really going to snowball out of control, and I don't know, things go south from there. So I don't think it's good enough. It's reactive. Yeah, hard
It's
to
a
build
good word
proactive.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just having trouble build. Like you can build it to beat either control or aggro, but never both. Just too tough too. All right. Well, Shampoo asks, has GVG brought more enjoyment or frustration overall from a pro player standpoint? I'm gonna start on myself for this one. I think it's more enjoyment just because it's something new, right? We're all bored of the old cards, even though there is a lot of frustrating RNG. How do you feel about it, Dog? Has GVG made it more fun for you?
I like it. I just remember like the days of Miracle and like all this stuff. Like you'd see the same decks every single tournament, and now I feel like there's a lot of variation, right? And that's always fun to see. You feel like you can like, sure, you're still going to bring like 2 safe decks, but like you can bring one like random deck that like can win you a few games, and that's really, really fun to me at least. Before I felt like I had to go with like all safe picks, but now it feels like you can at least step outside the box a little bit and like build a cool deck just with the new GVG cards. So, yeah.
How about you, Savjz? Have you been enjoying it more, or is it more frustrating than enjoyable?
When I saw it like the first previews, I thought it would be frustrating, but I'm gonna be honest, like, I've been enjoying it a lot, and most of the RNG is actually kind of cool, except for the couple of things that I mentioned before. But I think it's a lot of fun, and really looking forward to what comes next. If it's gonna, how do they like make it even better? Really happy that I saw like a couple of days ago they're recruiting 8 more people or so. So the Hearthstone thing is getting even bigger and bigger.
Yeah, the game is just blowing up. The sales have just been insane, so definitely a good sign for all of us who play the game. All right, what GVG cards aren't played very much that you think should be, and what GVG cards do you think are overrated? Let's start with Savjz. What cards should be seeing more play and which are overrated?
I think the 6-mana piloted card, the Sky Golem, I think it might be worth more of a play, because it's like the 6 attack is a lot, and in some decks, if you go face for 6, you know from the high main, like somebody, it was Damas or somebody who used to say that when high main connects to face for once, it's gonna win the game. And I feel like a bit same way about the piloted Sky Golem. So it's really annoying to deal with. 4 toughness is kind of low, but it's still gonna come back. So I think that one, and yeah, that's all I have for now.
All right,
I guess.
No overrated cards?
Overrated cards. Oh, okay. Maybe Neptulon. Okay, I think that like most of the shamans play it, but it's so weird giving a big game hunter target. And I feel like when I'm playing against shaman, it's like the big game hunters just would sit in the hand the entire game. But then there's a Neptulon, so it's like I don't see the point in adding a big game hunter target to a shaman, even though you get 4 cards, which are not usually very, very good. So I think that running Neptulon might be a mistake, but I might be wrong here. I haven't played much shaman.
All right, Dog. What about you? Underrated, overrated?
Let's see here. Underrated card, I would have to go with maybe Sneedoled Shredder. I haven't seen much play, but it's like a Ysera almost. It gets so much value. I mean, sure, it doesn't get like immediate value, but it's still, I don't know. That's a hard unit to deal with. Every time I see that thing, it just trades with everything because it has 5 damage, 7 HP is a lot, and like you kill it, and then half the time it's like a 5 cost or more legendary, which is phenomenal. I also think that spare parts are pretty underrated. I want to see like Toshli and just like random decks, stuff that gives you spare parts. So I think Toshli is kind of underrated because the spare parts, they can swing the game a lot, like a lot. Reversing switch is crazy. Even coolant, like it protects you from like 5 damage for one crystal or whatever. That's a lot. Rusty Horn, there's like so many good ones. So I think like more spare parts would be good.
I feel like all of your answers are warped by Druid, right? They freeze your
Yeah,
ancient war, they flip your ancient war's health.
It's terrible, but yeah. Well, this is Stealth Antonitis also. Overrated cards. Let's see here. I would say that. I guess Vol'jin is kind of overrated. I don't know. I want to go back to like the whole like Trogzor super OP thing because like I thought he would be OP as hell, and then he just turned out to be a slug sitting there that does nothing. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of piloted Shredder also in control decks. I think that needs to be in aggro only. I see a lot of people running it in control decks, and I think that's wrong. Because it doesn't trade very well. It's definitely an aggro card. So yeah, I'd say Shredder, I guess.
Makes a lot of sense. I'm definitely with you. I'm more of a Senjin guy myself. Well, all right, guys. This has been episode 4 of the Overcast. Big thank you to Savjz and Dog for joining me. Let's do shout-outs. Dog, any shout-outs?
To Complexity, my manager, Fantasy, Zixo. Congrats to him for making Archon. That's about it.
All right, Savjz.
Shout out to Team Liquid guys and Area Monk and everybody else. And I'm gonna be streaming after this. Probably might be some of the Fatigue Mage. I'm not sure if I'm gonna play it today. There's gonna be a Fatigue Mage guide coming out that I wrote. Maybe I don't know how soon, but it's gonna be on liquidhut.com. And thanks to you, Reynad, for having me on the show.
No problem, man. Yeah, shout out to Tempo Storm, tempostorm.com. I will also be streaming soon, and I gotta make some tea and stuff. I guess I'll fire it up in 20 minutes or something like that. But yeah, shout out to you guys for joining us. Shout out to Magic Amy. Hopefully she does well in the second Pinnacle tournament. I think Gara Kit Kats are playing this weekend in ESL. I guess I'm playing this weekend in ESL too. I forgot about that. All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.
It was alright.
That was fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks.